Aloha and welcome to Spirit Chat Radio. Today I'm going to be doing a podcast on the energy forecast for October. Before I get into that, however, I'm going to be talking about some other things really quickly that I want to go over. At our metaphysical store, spiritualgurubox.com. If you're not on the email list, you can head over there and get on the email list. We're going to be doing some cool specials over there this month. We'll be posting those pretty soon. I felt Halloween was a very fitting time to do some cool things with that. And I'm also going to be putting together some holiday boxes or packages over at the store. They're going to be limited and it's just going to be a one-time thing. I'm not going to keep doing them. But I thought that I would put some stuff together I thought would make a good Halloween type pack. And those are going to be offered over at the metaphysical store as well. Or if you just like gemstones and jewelry and, looking for places to find cool spiritual stuff, you might want to check out the Spiritual Guru box. It is a subscription box, but we also have regular items too. So you can do one or the other. We have both over there. And also, the other thing I wanted to talk about is if you're on my personal email list, or if you're not, you might want to stop over at keystothespiritworld.com, get on my email list. I'm going to be doing some specials in regards to my classes or a few things here or there. I do still do classes. I have people ask me about that who are new to the podcast or are just new to me listening to my stuff. What do I do if I still do classes or readings or any of that? And I always think, oh, weird that they don't know that. But then I realize that I don't talk about that very much. So just for those of you who are new, or for those of you who don't know about any of the classes and stuff that I do, um, I have a free spirit community, which is a higher purpose learning group, and that you can also find at keystothespiritworld.com. You can scroll down, it says spirit community, click on that. And then after, if you want to go more advanced in the higher purpose learning group, and if you want to get more one-on-one time, I have a couple of other things that I do. One is an empath class, which I haven't opened for a little while, but I'm going to be opening that again soon, and I'm going to set the format for that a little bit differently. If you're already in the empath class, you're going to have access to the new cool stuff, but that's going to be coming up again soon. I also have a psychic ability class, and that is a super awesome foundational class. And that one, I've had a ton of students in. They find it incredibly helpful. It teaches you how to become more in tune with your intuition. It's for beginners. It's also for healers and readers. I have in everywhere from people just learning to people who actually do spiritual work in that class, and many people find it incredibly helpful. So that's a very good foundational class if you're spiritually waking or if you're a reader. Then I had the mentorship circle. That is for a little bit more advanced people. We do some different stuff in that. That's my a reoccurring monthly group thing where I do master classes every month in there. And so included into the mentorship circle is not just the community and group of people who are in there that you can talk to. It's a private Facebook group that you can talk to. I do card pulls in there. We do energy reports, and we do spirit activity things and things like that. But we also do the master classes, and those are Zoom master classes. So it's like a virtual classroom where we get together and talk. And so there, or I'm teach, or I have a guest on. We've done animal communication and on healing and different things like that. So we just did one on how to read, how to give readings, and that was super fun. People loved that class. That was really cool. So I'm going to be doing some specials on some of my classes, so you'll want to watch for that if you're on my email list, because I'm only going to do it for this month, I believe. And that the reason that you might want to know that also is I've had a lot of people ask me about the spirit communication course that I've been working on. and I'm setting that up a little bit differently with where we can do virtual classroom stuff. And you will need to be in my psychic ability class in order to take the spiritual communication class, spirit communication class. And some people have asked me if they had to do both. The reason for that is because I need to have people to have a certain level of knowledge and a certain foundation for me to get them into spirit communication and kind of do some one-on-one stuff with them there. I have tried to teach people more advanced stuff when they haven't taken my psychic ability class, and I find that they're missing a lot of the core knowledge and core properties that you kind of need to advance. So I've done it both ways, and I prefer not to do it both ways anymore because then it's just a lot more teaching, or they're not quite as advanced as where they should be. So psychic ability class first, then the spirit communication class will be coming in if you're doing that. And if anybody's interested, we also have the mentorship circle. So watch for some specials going is on the metaphysical store and on my keys stuff. Now we're going to get into the energy report for October, and I'm going to start with the beginning stuff. It's kind of like, do you want to hear the good news or you want to hear the bad news? So we're going to start with the bad news first, okay? And then we'll get into the good news. So don't check out when I'm talking about like some of the cons of the uh, October energy forecast, because we're also going to get into the pros. And this is a very nicely balanced energy wave or energy forecast. And it might not feel like it at first, but there's some super cool things that are going to happen too. So just bear with me when I first start off. The other thing before I get into this, and I probably have talked about this on other podcasts, but I want to give you guys a reminder. I want to give you a reminder about why energy wave forecasts or energy waves or energy forecasts are kind of important if you're psychically sensitive or spiritually sensitive in any way. It doesn't matter if you are spiritually awakening and kind of new to the process, or if you're more psychically sensitive and advanced. Any scale of that spectrum, when you start becoming aware of your spiritual body and your awakening and your psychic senses to where you're advanced, any range of that spectrum, most of those people are going to feel a lot of different things from energy waves, and they are going to find energy forecasts very helpful. The reason for that is because when you become in tune with your psychic senses, when you become aware of them, you start tuning into energy all around you, whether it's from people, places, things, or universal energy. And you start becoming a lot more sensitive to lunar cycles, solar cycles, just universal energetic waves, all of that. You become a lot more sensitive to the energy flowing around you. People take it for granted that they're just sort of, yes, I definitely know that I'm going to feel more with people or places, but they don't realize it's also just the earthly energy, the lunar energy, the solar, the planetary energy that you're also feeling. And so it can be very confusing because you have gone your whole life or most of your life with kind of mentally thinking through things and mentally sorting out information. And now you're getting flooded with some physical sensations which come along with these energetic waves that can throw you off kilter a little bit and make you feel a little bit confused because you're not sure why you're physically feeling these certain ways. I think that that's something that is probably the most underrated, under discussed, less talked about, but one of the most important things to realize. I might have worded all that wrong, but you get the drift. Um, Things is how you physically feel when you begin to spiritually align and spiritually awaken, and when you tune into your senses, how much it affects the physical body, or what you feel like as a physical body when it's also you're feeling the spiritual body, but in your brain's going, oh, this is definitely physical, even though you can feel spiritual. So what I mean by that is you can feel your spiritual body, but your brain goes, that's my physical body. It doesn't matter here nor there. It just, what matters is that you learn to differentiate um, the energy waves and different things from events happening in your own life. Because if you start feeling physically not great or a certain way, that's maybe not in a positive light, then you can internalize that and your brain will start going, where's this coming from? Well, what happened? Well, this has to be attached to something in my life. And when you start realizing, not necessarily. When you're psychically sensitive, you're feeling universal energy. You're feeling all this energy attached to all these different people. And you can separate those feelings and those sensations may necessarily not be attached to your life. It's like a whole weight is lifted off and mental clarity comes into play. And then you can release it easier out of your system. So that's kind of a lot of rambling, but hopefully you're understanding that when you're psychically sensitive, it is very important to be aware of these things so that if you're experiencing any of them, you can then release it or not thinking, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Okay. So, um, some of the first things that we're going to talk about is feeling very lethargic or tired. These physical things that I'm going to be talking about to start with will be things that probably have been affecting many people from, the last 3 days to the last week or so. And they may continue on through October at different times, just depending on where you are in your sensitivities. Feeling very lethargic or tired. And the odd thing is, even when you're getting a ton of sleep, that's the kicker here. So if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, 10 hours of sleep, or 6 hours of sleep, if you normally get four, and you're waking up and you're just like, my God, I feel like I've slept 2 hours or didn't sleep at all, or I feel like I'm still up from last night. That's what I mean. Feeling very lethargic or tired. Um, this is a super thick wave that's coming through. It's a very thick, heavy wave. And so that you're going to be experiencing that weight a little bit with the energy. Mental fog. Like I said, it's a thick wave, and your spiritual body, your physical body feels the weight and feels the density of the energetic wave that comes through. So it's like literally trying to see through fog, mental fog, having a hard time focusing on a task or following through with something. It's like the clarity doesn't feel there. So that's very common with this right now. Mental exhaustion, just being mentally tired, feeling like maybe you've been under a lot of stress when you might not have been under a lot of stress. However, there may be some mental exhaustion from last month's energy wave as you were sort of building up goals and different, putting a lot of building blocks in place and things like that. That energy you might now be feeling just kind of exhausted from. But feeling mentally tired, overwhelmed, that's very much part of this wave. Feeling lazy, just kind of like you don't have any motivation or energy to do anything. Some of the waves that come through, you just have all this energy and you just keep going like the Energizer Bunny and you feel organized and you're buying things to organize your spaces and all that kind of stuff. And with this wave, a lot of feeling lazy and no motivation and energy, but you just want to sit on the couch and zone out. Super common, like super um, common with this wave, I guess. I thought I would come up with another, fantastic word, but no, I didn't. Okay. So, if that isn't enough, feeling very lethargic, tired, and mentally foggy and exhausted, how about being irritated or cranky? That's a fun one. So, feeling unusually more irritated or cranky than you normally would be, or feeling other people be unusually cranky more than normal. So don't be like, well, they're cranky all the time, or I'm cranky all the time. I just mean like if it's dialed up a notch, feeling more unusually cranky. And with me, it's kind of interesting because I like to talk about what I'm experiencing with these things so that you guys can get an idea of what's happening on my end as well. I am normally a very um, happy person. I'm like very cheerful. And with this wave, I did find that I was feeling definitely more edgy than normal. And that's something I notice with myself always. I always notice when I'm feeling more edgy because for me, it's very out of character. Normally, I brush everything off and nothing really bothers me. And not this wave. This wave was like, not this time. Anyways, and the last thing where we're going to talk about on the sort of cons part of this wave is feeling, I don't love this term, but it was a good term to use, feeling some type of way about a choice another person is making. So basically, feeling like you want somebody in your world or your life to kind of alter their choices to make you feel better, more relaxed, or less anxious. So others doing things around you that you don't agree with their choices, others doing things around you that are choosing to do things. It could be a trip, could be how they're living their life, could be how a relationship that they're in, could be how they're spending their money. I don't know, whatever. But all of a sudden you're feeling unusually like judgmental about it, but also you're feeling like you want to convince them not to for some reason. You want them to make a different choice because whatever they're doing in their life is making you uncomfortable, making you anxious, or um, not very relaxed, and you just want that not to be in your world. You want to feel relaxed and good about something. So you're like, okay, well, if you change that behavior, then I know I'm less anxious. But that is really not our place. That is our place to recognize when we're trying to get somebody else to alter their choices to suit our needs. That's very important. But with this wave, you may be very aware of other people's life path choices right now, or other people's event choices, or things that they're just going through in their life right now. And you, because of the cranky irritation and all that, you may want them to do something differently, but we're going to get to that, so don't say things yet. Um, but there are some other cool things that are happening besides the things that we just talked about. If, besides the mental fog and exhaustion, lazy feeling, and all that, and lethargicness, there's some really, really cool stuff happening. Things that you've been trying to manifest might be taking shape at this point in time. You might be able to feel a shift, or you might be able to see something begin to manifest. There's a lot of powerful manifestation energy that is coming with this, where you can definitely take hold and still try to manifest things into November, December, or later. This manifesting energy that's coming through right now is the manifestation energy that's bringing everything to fruition. So it's basically the end part of the energy where this is manifestation creation on steroids. It is like pulling things together universally and directing energy and forming energy things and really just choreographing the universe to manifest and pull things together that you most likely have been putting in place the last probably anywhere from last month to 3 months ago. So this manifestation energy is, like I said, it's on steroids, and you're probably feeling things shifting and taking place, or about to. You might feel like, oh, I'm on the verge of something really cool happening that I've been wanting to happen, or that I've been imagining happening. I can feel it, or you might even be able to see it. You might even be able to get little you know, things come through for you, emails or news or opportunities that you're like, wow, this is really happening right now. That's super cool. Along with this manifestation energy, new opportunities are beginning to surface. Ones that you probably have never even thought about, but most likely will be related to something that you've sort of been wishing and manifesting, in the prior months up until now. So, new opportunities are surfacing. Don't overlook them, because now is the time where a lot of times people are like, yeah, that's super cool, but I'm waiting for this specific thing. Don't overlook these new opportunities. These new opportunities with this energetic wave are ones that the universe is going, no, trust me, you want this. Okay? Trust me, I'm bringing something to you that's very positive and beneficial to your life. And then many times people go, yeah, but no. Okay, no, yeah, buts. No, yeah, buts. Um, just at least entertain, take a look at, and see what these opportunities are. Shifts are taking place with relationships right now. This has been like absolute craziness. Recently, there's been a lot of craziness going on with relationships. Very extreme up and downs. Started last month. Relationships are shifting and taking new form. Um, might be that you're reconnecting with old connections, or disconnecting with current connections. But what I'm seeing a lot of is relationships redefining what they look like that are current. So, what does that mean? That means like you may have a relationship with a spouse, or an auntie or a cousin or a friend, um, and you, or a sibling or whatever, and your relationship has gone on for a certain way for a very long time, and then all of a sudden that relationship is like being redefined, where there might have been arguments, there might have not been arguments, there might have just been somebody going, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore, or we need to change how we communicate, or fix this in some way, or maybe it's even unspoken and you just begin to deal with each other differently. Um, a lot of relationships are redefining themselves. Not all negative, though. Many of these redefining relationships will have a positive result to them. The redefining part, how you learn to be in that connection, can be very uncomfortable when you're redefining how you communicate, or redefining what that relationship means to both of you. That can be super uncomfortable, but there's a positive undertone to these relationships that are shifting and being redefined. And so the positivity to that um, means that in the long run, the relationships will be in better places, whether it's together or not together or whatever. It's going to be better for you in the long run. So keep that in mind if you're in the uncomfortable spot right now. The energy around you should be beginning to calm down a bit from feeling chaotic. Thank goodness, because chaotic energy, September was chaotic. So everything should start to kind of, as a whole, begin to feel calmer as a whole. Even though that we're having some disruptive patterns in there, as kind of a whole universal feel, you'll have the calmer energy. Um, Different areas of your life will probably be starting to fall into place with little effort. And what I mean by that is, for those of you who have spent many hours or a lot of time trying to manifest some different things in your life to go a different way. Could be job, could be money, could be just how you're kind of doing your day-to-day stuff, whatever. It could be housing, could be whatever. So for those of you who have been trying to redefine your life into a more comfortable position for you, of whatever that may be, um, you will probably find in the month of October, or you're probably starting to see that all of a sudden these little areas are starting to fall into place like dominoes. So you've kind of set the dominoes up, and now things are really just, they're flowing. The dominoes are all kicking the other domino and down, and just everything has a nice pattern and a nice flow to it. Everything's just really starting to line up. And that has a lot to do with some effort that you put in last month or the last few months, even though for some reason this will feel almost effortless. It will feel like that really, like I wasn't even really working on that right now. You'll probably have forgotten that you were working on that prior, but now you just are reaping the benefit of that. The last thing that is really kind of cool with this wave is the money chi and the money energy is on the rise. The money chi and the money energy with this wave is very much on the positive side. So the money energy is heightened. It feels nice. It feels positive. That can be really helpful when you're good at working with money chi and money energy. Um, is it really has a nice positive vibe to it, and it has a strength to it, which is really relaxing and nice. So that, and I don't see a lot of money energy coming with waves all the time, but with this one, it's tending to stand out. The money chi energy, and it's standing out so much. I actually have been dreaming about it. So I will dream different things. That's how I get a lot of my information. For those of you who don't know, I see a lot of the energetic patterns when I dream, and things that are affecting, us energetically and whatnot. And that's one thing that I've noticed that's been quite prominent, which is quite interesting. Because, like I said, it's not a common thing. It's very interesting though. So what do you do? Now I've given you all this information. You're like, well, that's all fantastic. Um, how do I ride this out? Give me a life raft. Do I have a vest? So um, here I'm going to give you some tips on what you should do. One is relax more than normal. Take more time to do nothing than you normally do, because even when just kind of, you know how like if you're feeling more lethargic than normal, like when you're coming down with like a flu or a cold or something, so you're like, okay, I got to kind of take it easy. I got to kind of make sure I'm not overdoing it. Well, energetically, it's sort of the same way. Keep your spiritual immune system up. You keep your spiritual strength up. With this, if you're feeling lazy, if you're feeling lethargic, take a nap, chill on the couch. Don't necessarily try to force yourself through it, because it doesn't make things happen faster or better. You know? So like, even if you're like, no, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do these things, it's not gonna force anything to manifest quicker, because of your will and determination to just push through the thickness of this wave. You're just feeling the thickness of this wave. That's just what it is. So just chill a minute and just relax a little bit more than you normally would. Um, Tune into the positive vibe of this shift would be another one. While you're chilling, while you're relaxing, while you're feeling some of the positivity coming in with this, you might be seeing some of the manifestations taking place. You might be getting some positive news. You might be just feeling good, even though you're really exhausted, which is kind of funny. But just take time while you're chilling on the couch and you're relaxing to feel the positive vibe of this shift. Feel the energy of any opportunity and manifestation that comes your way. If it's little, if it's big, just take a minute to just bask in that feeling of, wow, this is really happening right now. Like, I was hoping for this. Don't like bypass it. Don't like go to the next thing right away. Take a minute to go, wow, this feels amazing, and I'm really loving the energy behind this right now. This is like, it's so fun and it's so rare that the waves are so thick and heavy that you can really feel the powerful positivity behind them. And so enjoy it for a minute. Really enjoy feeling this stuff happening, the opportunities, the manifestation, and bask in it. That's important with this wave. Make adjustments in your life right now. So what I mean by that is clear the path for new opportunities to come through. So if you're feeling one like an opportunity surface, many times I have seen people go, okay, well, this opportunity is coming up, but I don't have time. I'm not really sure I can do that. I don't know if that'll fit in my schedule. It's sort of freaking me out, whatever. It's really important in October to go to have more, to be more of a yes man. And maybe you should just go watch Yes Man, and then you should live October that way. That would be kind of cool. It's really a good time and poignant timing for you to become aware of these opportunities and for you to clear a path in your life for the opportunity to manifest. Even if it wasn't something you were looking for, even if it's something that you're not quite sure that you could do, handle, gives you anxiety, but it seems exciting, it feels positive, but your mind's kind of freaking you out, clear the path to just see what happens. Clear the path, make way for it in your life. Make a path for it in your life. Make space for it in your life and just allow it to kind of grow and just watch it grow and observe. See what happens with that. Now's a very good time to make adjustments and clear the path for opportunities, especially for ones that, like I said, kind of freak you out, but they feel good. So, the next thing would be to meditate with manifestation energy that's coming with this wave. Feel it, enjoy it when you do your meditation, connect with the wave. And it's a good time when you're doing your meditation to put more visions into it. So, like I said, even though this is sort of the end part of a sort of a planetary manifest, it's still okay to put more visions into it. And now is a good time to line things out for future stuff. So, um, put more visions in it, put more ideas in it, and just let it carry it through into November and December and allow it to just drift off with this and see where that manifestation goes. The last thing that is going to be a little bit hard, and I talked about it briefly when we were talking about other people's actions, but is super important um, because, well, because I personally experience this a lot, and I wouldn't know. I have to rephrase that. I just lied. It doesn't happen a lot, but I've had it happen in times in my life where I was like, wow, how did I miss that I was doing that? And that is the letting go of any resistance that you have tied to anything. And so it's funny because I have people literally tell me and meet me and go, your life just must be perfect and amazing and everything just lines out for you because you teach all these things. Well, I'm still human, so I do still make mistakes, and there's been times that I've caught myself sort of holding on to a certain outcome for a minute, and then after, and I don't do it often and I don't do it long, but I find that I get exhausted very quickly if I'm holding on to an outcome, so that's when it becomes very aware to me, and I'll just be like, gosh, I don't like that exhausting feeling when I'm really just hoping and counting on all these factors turning out a certain way. And so I just let it go because it doesn't suit me very well and I don't have time for it. And now is a very good time to let go of any resistance you have tied to anything, especially if it's tied to what someone else is choosing to do at the moment. So if you have anything happening that really, my happiness is going to depend on this person doing this certain thing, or them making this choice, that's seriously, that's an issue. You really have to let go of that because um, it causes a lot of disappointment, but it also causes a lot of energetic blockage. Um, so how can you tell if you have resistance to something? Because that's something a question that I'm asked often. Well, how do I know? Well, if you don't want something to happen or turn out a certain way, and you're feeling attached to a potential outcome, so you're feeling resistant to, oh, but what if it happens that way? Or what if, or I don't want that to happen because, and you're feeling like resistance in your chest, like almost like you're bracing kind of, or you're cringing a little bit, or you're feeling upset about something that somebody's making a choice to do, or like you have a worry about something that they're making a choice to do, then it's time to resolve your own feelings about whatever that is, especially if it's attached to something you have no control over. It's really, really time to do that with this wave. It's time to really let all resistance go. Really let it flow out your body and really try to figure out how you can make peace with holding on to anything that feels resistant to you, any bracing, any worry, any tightening of the chest, anything that makes you feel like, yeah, resistant to an outcome, resistant to this, or, and truthfully, before I end this, most of the time that kind of stuff is based on not real um, solid information. It's based on like fear and worry of this could potentially turn out like this, or this could potentially happen, or whatever. Or, if you do that, then I don't like the way I feel if you do that. You got to get rid of all that stuff. It's time to let that go. So, hopefully, you found this October energy forecast helpful, and hopefully, you make it through with flying colors. Although, don't worry about it, you're going to have your ups and your downs. The whole point is to recognize the downs and give you more ups. And there you go. So, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you have been experiencing any of these things, absolutely comment below. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or iTunes or wherever. And I am greatly appreciative of any of you guys, leaving comments or leaving reviews on any of those places. That's super helpful. And I hope to see you take advantage of some of my specials on keysofspiritworld.com or spiritualgurubox.com. And until next time, I hope you have the most amazing day. Aloha.
Black Friday is coming, and for the adults in your life who love the coolest toys, well, there's something for them this year too. Bartesian is the premier craft cocktail maker that automatically makes more than 60 seasonal and classic cocktails, each in under 30 seconds at the push of a button. And right now, Bartesian is having a huge site-wide sale. You can get $100 off any cocktail maker or cocktail maker bundle when you spend $400 or more. So, if the cocktail lover in your life has been good this year, or the right kind of bad, get them Bartesian. At the push of a button, make bar-quality cosmopolitans, martinis, Manhattans, and more. All in just 30 seconds. All for $100 off. Amazing toys aren't just for kids. Get $100 off a cocktail maker when you spend $400 through Cyber Monday. Visit bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Introducing Instagram teen accounts, a new way to keep your teens safer as they grow, like making sure they've got the right gear for riding.
Knee pads.
Check.
And helmet?
Done. See you, Dad.
New Instagram teen accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.